Now then, delighted to be joined once again by Charlie Macallan. Today we will be tasting the Macallan Folio 2.
What a treat. What a treat.
Yeah, a real treat. So as you'd imagine, this is the second release in Macallan's Archival Folio series, which was launched to celebrate the sort of press and advertising campaigns of Macallan in the 70s, 80s and 90s. Macallan, obviously these days, is a huge brand. Would you say there's any other single malt brands even come close to the icon that is Macallan?
And indeed, it's worthy for them to honour, if you like, their advertising, because that really was completely groundbreaking. They began to promote the brand as a single malt in 1980-81.
Okay, yeah.
They'd been setting aside stock for the previous decade or so.
Sure.
But it was only then that they were all originated. The creativity was done by a legendary London agency called Holmes Knight Ritchie, and they came out with this new, very unusual, very tasteful, very porky, sort of witty. Of course, remember that Alan Shear, who was the joint chairman of Macallan, he himself was a scriptwriter in Hollywood.
Okay.
He wrote "Don't Look Now." You remember that wonderful film with Donald Sutherland? And so, I mean, he was a very creative man himself.
Yeah, I've heard stories of not conflict, but Alan having lots of ideas.
I'm sure
this is how the campaign should be. I mean, David Holmes and Nick Salmon be like, we're the experts. Don't tell us what to do. So there was,
Well, whoever. I mean, Alan was. He was quite modest about it. He didn't claim to have a big say, but I think he probably did have a big say.
Yeah, I'm the chairman of this brand. I'll have the final say. But no,
so they're very articulate. They're very clever, satisfying, intelligent advertising.
Yeah, I think witty is probably is a good summary, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, the whiskey as well is, we don't know a huge amount about it, as with all folios that have been released at time of filming. There's no age statement.
It has no age statement. It's all 43%.
43%. Obviously, it's going to be sherry seasoned casks. That,
classic Macallan colour. Well, that's a gorgeous colour.
Yeah, it does look very, very appealing. This one, as we say, is Folio 2, which was released in 2017. I think retail price at the time was probably about maybe £100, give or take.
Really? Yeah.
It's peaked recently at maybe over 5,000.
Wow,
so,
really?
Yeah, it's really caught people's imagination. And it's, as you say, it's a wonderful series that celebrates their.
But we both know that there are very few tasting notes, so that we haven't seen many tasting notes.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, my mum always makes a joke. It could be cold tea in there. Nobody ever opens this stuff, but hopefully I'm sure it is whiskey.
Well, I think a lot of these bottles will increasingly have gone to collectors or investors. Yeah. And so they haven't been. So it's going to be a privilege to
it'll be
taste
very intriguing. The thing I find intriguing as well. So we're in 2023 now, and we've just had the release of Folio 7. I say the series was on 2015, so they're averaging about one every year. The full series is going to be 24 editions, which is a lot. So if they carry on at this rate, you're talking, over 20 years of releases. And I don't know, see, Macallan is a hugely popular brand, but will people's interest really last that long? Are people going to try and collect all 24?
Once they're hooked, you see, if they start on the collection, then... and of course, remember, it always used to have said that you'd buy 3 bottles. You'd buy one to drink, one to swap with other collectors, and one for your collection.
Yeah, maybe there is some of that.
So I don't know whether this won't be possible now with number 1, or indeed 2, this one. But we'll see. We'll see.
It'll be very interesting. I mean, the other thing for me, if somebody is aiming to collect all 24, they come in really big tins. So 24 of them is going to take up a full.
Yeah, we were looking at it a moment ago.
That would take up a full.
Just to let them know, you see,
full bookcase.
Look at this.
It's remarkable.
Huge. So it's like it would
be massive thing. So it'll be very, very interesting to see if they remain as popular as we get towards the end.
It's quite heavy, this.
I know, careful, Charlie. But a really great series, and I'm excited to open this up and see what the liquid's like. So let's
have a look at it. Let's have a look at it.
Right, let's open this up.
I noticed you wet the cork.
Yeah, I find with older bottlings that haven't been touched for a long time, often the cork dries out, and then when you try to open it, it sort of rips, and then you're in trouble.
Good thinking.
So I feel to sort of moisten it a little bit, loosen it up sometimes. Sometimes helps, but I do it with everything.
Sense because as viewers will know, you always store whiskey standing up, not lying to the cork like with wine.
Yeah, obviously you wouldn't keep it lying down the full time because the cork will rot and go mouldy. But just feel a bit loosen it up a little bit. But yeah, there we go. Compared to
Gorgeous
the
colour.
other folios, this is noticeably darker.
It's sort of magenta lights. It's rosewood. It's got a sort of faint pink tinge or sort of ruby.
Lovely. So this sort of colour, I would say, suggests more active sherry casks, or perhaps longer maturation. Or what do you think?
It's the colour. This deep dark colour comes from tannins.
Okay. Yeah.
Same with tea or red wine, but and so it would suggest that the casks that this has been drawn from. We don't know the age of the casks.
Yep.
We reckon there's probably about 4 butts in. How many bottles?
I think it's about 2,000. It's rumoured to be an outturn of about 2,000. I think.
So it'll be. So let's say about 4 200-litre butts. But they're probably these ones they must be very tannic, and so they'll be freshly filled.
Yeah.
The first filled butts. Oh,
yeah, it's quite lots of juicy notes for me.
Well, my first impression was treacle toffee. Top note of treacle toffee.
Yeah, everything about this.
But now immediately it's gone dry, and I'm getting a kind of ashy note.
Interesting.
Which has rather flattened it, because it was more these dark fruits and things and treacle toffee to start with, but then it's flattened down. It may open up again. Yeah, it is opening up a little bit, but again. Oh, what am I getting? Figs, dried figs, possibly.
Yeah. So this dram we've let it air for a little bit, so it has opened up slightly. With the first pour of a bottle, sometimes it is quite
tight,
closed, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's a complex. It's dark fruits. The overall impression is dark fruits, as you'd expect from Macallan, in the traditional Macallan.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And it's not as sweet as I would expect. It's dry. Let's taste it and see.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Sweeter in the mouth.
Not as dry as I was expecting, actually.
Dries in the finish, but it's the initial sweetness. Spice. A nice sort of kitchen spice, allspice, pepper, black pepper.
Yeah. In terms of mouthfeel, do you think it's quite viscous for me? It feels quite kind of syrupy. It coats the palate.
Yeah, we were tasting the first one, and it's slightly thicker in the mouth than the first expression. So that tells us that at least they are different liquids.
Yes, yeah, which is a slight.
Because remember we were talking about the Macallan, the James Bond one, the 007 series, and that was all the same.
Yeah, 6 expressions, all.
I think it's a bit
wasted opportunity, I think.
Absolutely.
But no, I think it's obviously great that the liquid is different. The Folio series, as we say, is going to be 24 different expressions. So I think collectors might lose interest if it was the same juice in every single one. So
it's a very nice dram, and sure, it's got all the story and permission to buy, as the advertising people say, but at the end of the day, you've got to have good juice to and I would say this justify.
Is kind of, what do you say, sort of classic Macallan in terms of those big sherry notes, the oily spirit.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would identify. I would identify that as Macallan straight away.
I think it is
changing. It'd be a gorgeous drink with espresso coffee and dark chocolate.
Yes, I thought you were going to suggest a cocktail for a minute. I was like, that's,
Oh,
that's
no,
an expensive
no,
cocktail you've got there, Charlie.
No, just a digestif. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a beautifully rounded dram, and it's, yeah, goes down beautifully, doesn't it?
I can see myself in a French cafe. Well, or shall we say, yes, a French cafe in France with coffee and getting stuck into this. I'm afraid we won't have time to.
What are you doing next week,
justice.
Charlie? Find some cheap flights. Let's go.
But,
no, a beautiful expression. It's everything you'd expect from Macallan. Beautifully balanced. For me, we've not overdone it with a sherry, and yeah, fantastic to see they're putting great liquid into what is largely a collector's item. So no, great to open it, great to try.
It is. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Pleasure's all ours.